Fuck this episode. No, sorry about that. Hello, everyone. I'm some Loudmouth on the internet with an opinion, and welcome back to my 12-part reviews of Gargoyles The Goliath Chronicles. And today I'm reviewing probably the episode of this season that annoys me the most. It's not really the worst episode this season, per se. Trust me, I haven't gotten to that one yet. But this episode really gets under my skin more than any other this season, because it's the first and only episode this season to feature the return of one of my favorite villains from the previous two seasons. Hell, I'll probably say, my favorite female villain in any fictional medium. That character being Demona. The character of Demona was essentially the gargoyle version of X-Men's Magneto, ruthlessly cunning at forming plans within plans, physically powerful, and given the amazingly sexy voice of Marina Sirtis.
Face me, human, if you dare.
Emboldened by an immortality spell that made her very hard to kill, she always menaced the other gargoyles, who she believed were fools and traitors to devote themselves to protecting humanity, whom she hated with a bitter passion. This hatred was very well developed, and ever understandable.
Why did you do it?
You can ask me that. After how they treated us, they had to pay. All humanity has to pay for what they did to our kind.
Most of her backstory was given in the fantastic 4-part episode City of Stone. My favorite moment being one where the Weird Sisters, a group of magical fairies, go over all the tragedies of her long life, and showed how her fruitless need to have revenge caused all this pain of hers.
The Vikings destroyed my clan.
Who betrayed the castle to the Vikings?
Your thirst for vengeance has only created more sorrow. End the cycle, Demona. Give us the code.
Her centuries' worth of tragedy all of a sudden becomes too much for her to bear, and in a moment of weakness, she breaks down.
The access code is alone.
It was incredibly well-developed villains and incredibly powerful character-driven moments like this that really made Gargoyles such a fantastic show. Gargoyles really stood out among other cartoons of its time, who often had villains who were evil just for the sake of it. Whereas Gargoyles really took its time to show you how someone goes bad, and really explain what would motivate someone to do bad things. And sadly, it was inevitable that the third season, the Goliath Chronicles, would eventually use this character. Would her appearance this season do her justice? Nope! Let's dig into Gargoyles The Goliath Chronicles, Episode 9, Generations. We open the episode with Angela, Goliath, and Brooklyn doing a patrol overhead protecting the city, and they witness a mugging. As is standard protocol for them, they fly down to foil it. This is something we've seen them do many times before, but there's a twist this time.
Let's get out of here!
You are safe now.
But you're not.
What?
Get the monsters! Quarrymen, they set us up!
So yes, this episode makes it 100% clear that the Quarrymen are completely aware of the fact that the Gargoyles are noble protectors of man, and use that against them to set up traps for them. That's pretty despicable, and it goes completely against the Quarrymen as Wiseman originally established them. In The Journey, the first episode of the Goliath Chronicles, and the only one that Greg Wiseman approved, the Quarrymen are shown as a scared mob who think the Gargoyles are a threat to their families. They are fearful and bigoted, but ultimately believe their actions are right.
Are you afraid of this monster? Well, for once, you are not alone. Are you afraid these creatures will attack you while you sleep?
Yes.
Definitely. You are not alone in that fear. Are you afraid they will steal your children away?
Yes.
You are not alone. Do you believe these monsters must be stopped?
Yes.
You are not alone. Join us. Join the Quarrymen. When you wear our hoods, believe me, you are no longer alone.
Showing the Quarrymen as being driven simply by fear and ignorance really gave the kids a good lesson to not give in to fear and ignorance. It shined a mirror at the audience not to give in to these type of feelings that many people throughout history have given into. Here, they're just a bunch of evil 2-bit mindless thugs who hate the Gargoyles for no reason whatsoever. No longer do the Quarrymen really mirror actual hate groups. No longer are they a metaphor for fear and misunderstanding, but are now just one-dimensional, mindless Saturday morning cartoon villains. It's such a wasted opportunity. Instead of having just brought semi-automatic weapons to this trap and just shooting the Gargoyles all at once and killing them easily, they instead wave around hammers and try to trap them in nets. We need more net control. But who should arrive to save them in their hour of need but Demona, who makes quick work of the attacking Quarrymen.
For this treachery! It's Demona!
You two won't escape.
Are you deaf? Or are you just suffering from very, very severe short-term memory loss? Maybe the Quarrymen would manage to kill a gargoyle if they'd stop recruiting the mentally challenged. Of course, Demona kicks his stupid ass as well. And then Demona is shot by this episode's new villain with some kind of nice Predator-style invisibility armor. Incredibly useful technology that I'm willing to bet this idiot won't manage to make use of. They managed to escape the Quarrymen with Angela carrying an injured Demona out of the scene.
We lost him. It was as if he vanished.
And what were you doing around here anyway?
Aren't you going to thank her for saving us?
He won't. Farewell, my daughter.
Good riddance.
I'm ashamed of both of you!
Why? Goliath just stood there, and Brooklyn has very good reasons to hate Demona that Angela well knows about.
I know what she's done, but she might be trying to change.
Demona will never change, and I will never trust her again.
Which is very, very wise. Demona has lied and deceived all of them several times for incredibly malicious reasons, including to Angela as well, which I will be getting into in a minute. For several minutes, Angela continues to whine that they aren't being forgiving enough to her megalomaniacal, genocidal mother.
You're not giving Demona a chance.
Hey, she's had more chances than she deserves, Angela.
She's blown every one of them.
Goliath, Demona's my mother. She was a member of your clan.
It absolutely blows my mind that nobody here mentions what Demona did the last time they encountered her. In Hunter's Moon, the season finale of Season 2, Demona developed a virus to exterminate the entire human race, and she only failed due to the last-minute intervention by Goliath.
Demona, what sorcery is this?
She's already cast a spell. My Latin's rusty, but it can't be good news.
Oh, but it is. All I have to do is shatter this vial, and all humanity will be destroyed. Only our kind will survive, thanks to the power of the praying gargoyle.
Her hatred was so strong that even when Goliath shattered the praying gargoyle, meaning that unleashing the virus would not only kill every human on Earth, but every gargoyle as well, including her, her daughter, and everyone there, Demona was still willing to risk its release.
Catch!
No!
Yet despite that, Angela is ashamed of the rest of her clan that they're not immediately willing to forgive Demona at the drop of a hat. It makes Angela look like a complete idiot. The next night, Angela leaves the castle and glides to a random rooftop where Demona was somehow waiting for her. Convenient.
Mother, so much has happened, but I think you can change with my help. If you want it badly enough.
We get several scenes of Angela and Demona bonding with each other as mother and daughter. This takes the place of various play fighting, as well as conversations about their different experiences. The problem is, they're a bit too familiar. And by familiar, I mean this is all retreaded territory. The conversations Demona and Angela share are very similar to conversations they shared in an earlier episode from Season 2, called The Reckoning.
I've been living on Avalon. Princess Catherine brought all the eggs there after Castle Wyvern was attacked.
Typical humans. They pillage the castle and steal our children.
No, it wasn't like that. The princess saved us. She's part of my clan, as you are.
Know this, young one. Humans have no place in any gargoyle clan.
Angela, you are so new to this world, so trusting.
We are at war. There can be no peace for our kind while the humans fear and hunt us.
I don't believe that. There are good humans. Humans raised me. Goliath thinks that...
Goliath is a fool. It was his trust of these humans that destroyed the rest of our clan. I've tried his way, and every time I've met betrayal.
And the similarities don't stop there. Most of this episode is just a retreading of The Reckoning, just with worse animation and far sloppier writing. Later they get shot at by that mysterious assassin from earlier. Angela runs at the attacker while Demona lies on her belly for some reason.
Angela, wait!
That may well be the sloppiest bit of animation in this entire season. Angela makes it to the other roof and then kicks the door off its hinges, even though the door was clearly already open, and then doesn't go through it anyway. I guess Angela just hates doors.
I saw the same shimmering when he attacked last night in the alley. How is he tracking us?
I don't know, but I have resources that may give me a lead. I'll work on it.
I'd like to help.
I would like that.
Angela then goes back to the clan and continues to whine that the rest of them aren't giving Demona a chance.
She's my mother, and I think she deserves a chance now. If none of you will help, I'll do it myself.
Angela! Why won't she listen?
'Cause Angela is a complete idiot. Seriously, why does Angela have zero suspicion about any of this? Have zero skepticism about any of this? I know it was shown earlier that Demona genuinely does care about Angela, and Angela knows that fact, but Angela is also very aware that her mother has done some very unethical things and has lied to her and others. Why does she have zero suspicion? Angela heads to Demona's lair, house, something, it's never really explained, and we find out later that Goliath apparently is given into Angela's irrational whining and shows up after her.
I understand my help was requested.
You followed me.
We have a common enemy.
I find it hilarious that Demona's secret lair just has a window that's big enough for Goliath to just walk through it. Since Demona's secret lair is, as we've seen before, not a very good secret, it should come as no surprise that the assassin manages to show up, and we get another poorly animated, poorly staged, and poorly edited action sequence. As is typical for the Goliath Chronicles, guns are once again completely worthless, as Angela gets shot directly in the back and is completely fine a few scenes later. Was he using rubber bullets or a paintball gun or something? Why didn't that kill her? Goliath decides to give the assassin chase, but because Goliath, like everyone else, is a complete idiot, he walks right into a trap with several quarrymen.
You're strong, but not bright.
Hey, criticizing this episode's poor characterization is my job, not yours. Stop doing my job. Goliath briefly fights the quarrymen, but sadly, very quickly, the assassin manages to tranquilize Goliath, and the quarrymen take him hostage. Why does an organization that is supposedly dedicated to exterminating all gargoyles capture Goliath alive instead of just killing him? I don't know. Goliath needs to be there for the next episode. That's the only explanation.
Why did you stop me? I might have
been killed. We are not invulnerable.
But they have Goliath.
And we have them. When I fought the stealth warrior, I placed a homing device in his boot.
A homing device in his boot. When the hell during any of that would Demona have been able to plant a homing device on the guy's boot? Yes, spoiler alert, it's revealed later that Demona is lying about all this. But again, why does Angela just believe such an obvious lie? So Angela actually brings Demona back to the castle, and understandably the rest of the gargoyles, particularly Brooklyn, are very reluctant to work with her.
Are you willing to risk Goliath's life over an old grudge?
Okay, but the stealth guy isn't our only problem. I'll be watching your back.
At least Brooklyn's acting in character.
We should split up. I'll attack from one side, drawing their fire, while the rest of you swoop in from the other.
You can't take that risk alone.
Yes, she can. She's immortal. Gunshots wouldn't kill her. Not that gunshots seem to do much to anyone in this series. Goliath is held in chains, I guess, to bait the other gargoyles. He doesn't really have to be kept alive for this, but whatever. And the rest of the gargoyles are immediately captured as they fall into the assassin's trap.
Steel's 2 feet thick!
No it's not. You saw the door come down. It was not 2 feet thick. How would you know how thick it is just by touching it anyway? What? And we finally get this episode's extremely predictable revelation that the assassin and Demona were apparently in cahoots the entire time.
Nice performance, Demona. But I've changed the script.
Change the script.
Hasn't it sunk in yet, my bright young monster? Demona set you up. Ask her how she hired me to make it look like she cared for you.
That isn't true!
She lured Goliath into a trap to bait the rest of you here. Ask her!
After everything we shared together, I can't believe you could do it.
Why? This is the exact same thing she's already done to you before.
The scene was going to play like this. Demona arrives, tries to save Goliath, but is just a second too late.
And then you stop him from killing the rest of us? You're a hero? Back in the clan? For what?
To save you from Goliath.
Exactly what she did in The Reckoning. Exactly.
No! She belongs to me.
My dear, you've known she was your daughter since before we staged your capture, and you've still been unable to turn her.
You knew the whole time?
I had to make you understand.
I understand perfectly. All this was a charade staged to turn me against my father, to trap and destroy my clan. You are capable of anything. I hate you.
You know, there's an old saying about fool me once, shame on something, something, something.
To destroy the gargoyles. I have lived for this moment.
Why? Did a gargoyle sleep with your girlfriend? Did a gargoyle cut you off in traffic? Did a gargoyle eat the last donut? Why do you hate gargoyles? Who the fuck are you? We know he's not John Castaway or any previously established character because we briefly see him unmasked. Even the end credits just list the guy as Assassin. And there are numerous other problems here. This assassin was clearly shown earlier to be in league with the Quarrymen. Does that mean Demona as well was working with the Quarrymen? That is something Demona would certainly never do. The Quarrymen represent everything she hates about humanity. They are an organization dedicated to exterminating gargoyles. And the Quarrymen would never work with Demona. They hate all gargoyles, particularly since for the leader of the Quarrymen, John Canmore, Demona killed his father. Yes, Demona was willing to make human allies despite her hatred of humanity, but that had very clear limitations. Demona would never team up with an organization that was run by one of the hunters who hunted her for centuries and exterminated the last of her clan. Nowhere else in the entire Goliath Chronicles do they mess up one of the previously established characters as bad as they do here.
And I think I'll start with...
Goliath breaks free and starts battling the assassin, who you'll be shocked to find can't shoot the broadside of a barn.
I think I'll do this slow. I can play this game all night.
Who the fuck are you? Fortunately, Mr. Whoever Who the Fuck Cares is defeated relatively easily. Never to be seen or heard from again, just as all one-note lazy villains should. Remember that steel that was supposedly 2 feet thick? Well, the trio get through it, and we see it definitely wasn't 2 feet thick. So Goliath briefly tries to subdue Demona and take her into custody. Demona drops a few smoke pellets and manages to make a quick escape. And yeah, they don't even try to chase after her. Guess they were, tired. I know I'd be really, tired. So the episode ends with the gargoyles gliding away as one of the animators accidentally spills some white out on Demona's face. Oh, wait, that's supposed to be a tear. Alright, episode over. Jalapeno did that episode suck. Essentially, this episode does to Demona what Disney's recent Maleficent movie did to Maleficent. What little character development Angela and Demona have is pretty much just material that was rehashed from The Reckoning, which did mostly the same thing as this episode except 100 times better. All the villains are stupid, from a bunch of quarrymen who are little more than mindless thugs with zero depth, to Demona and Angela who are transformed into naive emotional idiots. From beginning to end, this episode does nothing but insult your intelligence and takes a steaming dump on a once great character. I'm just glad this review is done so I never have to watch this episode again. Unfortunately, there is so much more bad to get through before we're done. I'm some loudmouth on the internet, and you just heard my opinion. Special thanks to the Dark Conservatarian, Connor Johnson, and my other awesome patrons. And be sure to subscribe for more loudmouth reviews, commentaries, and editorials.